So our second lesson on the Battle of the Somme, and we're going to look at what went wrong. So we're going to learn about the mistakes the British made on the first day of the Somme and preceding it. To understand the phrase, lions led by donkeys is commonly attached to the Battle of the Somme and to the British Army in World War I more generally. And by doing that, you're going to develop some historical analysis skills, thinking about why things happened. Keywords: underground, bunkers, destroyed artillery shell, explode, faulty, communications, intact, whistles, delay, walk. Bunkers, underground shelters. Artillery, the big guns, not cannons, they're called artillery. They fire shells, not bombs. Faulty, doesn't work properly. Communications, or telephones communication, for example, radio communication. Intact means unbroken, not damaged. Delay, a time delay normally. Okay, first big mistake the British made. They completely underestimated the strength of the German defences on the Somme. The Germans had spent a long time digging very deep, very strong underground bunkers, concrete lines, massively underground, very difficult to destroy. So the big bombardment we had, the 1 week long, 1.5 million shell bombardment, it did kill some Germans, but most Germans just sat very securely in their deep underground bunkers and were unharmed by this bombardment. We thought they were dead, they were not. So write it up in your own words, or here's a writing frame. The first big mistake the British made was that they underestimated the strength of the German defences, in particular the German underground bunkers. The bunkers were massive and very deep underground. This made it almost impossible for them to be destroyed. This is why most of the German soldiers survived the bombardment and were able to climb up the stairs and set up their machine guns in time to slaughter our men. Mistake 2. As I said to you in the previous lesson, we fired 1.5 million shells at the Germans. The problem was, a third of them did not work. They were faulty. Yeah, these are women in the factories making them. The first part of the war, we always said this, their skill levels were often not high enough, and a lot of shells simply didn't work. So the plan is you fire these shells, when they land they explode. Yeah. And when they explode, they blow up the trenches, they destroy the barbed wire. But a third of the shells simply, just they landed, doof, they landed. No explosion. Yeah. So, the second big problem was faulty munitions, faulty shells. Of the 1.5 million shells that were fired, 500,000, a third, did not explode. Even when the shells did explode, they did not destroy the barbed wire. Instead, the explosions just moved it. Explosions don't destroy barbed wire, they just moved it about a bit. Mistake 3. Our men were ordered to wait 2 minutes after the end of the bombardment. So the bombardment happens for a week, then it ends, 2-minute gap, and then the officers blow the whistles and everyone joins in the attack. So that 2-minute gap gave the Germans plenty of time to get out the bunkers, up the steps, put the guns together and be ready for our attack. Which leads us neatly to the final big mistake, walking. Our soldiers were ordered to walk across no man's land carrying a massive pack of all the stuff they'd need, which made them very, very easy targets for the German machine gunners. So, lastly, the Somme is where the phrase lions led by donkeys comes from. And what you hear, we're going to talk about in class, why is this such an evocative, good phrase to use for the Battle of the Somme? So the phrase lions led by donkeys is sometimes used to describe the Somme because we'll discuss that in class.